Hey guys, it's me, Sean from TechTours.webs.com, YouTube.com/SMP. Sort of continuing this tradition where I have this little black background where I'm sort of talking, but um, but what I'm trying to tell you guys about is the Epic 4G versus the Evo 4G. And I just want to compare both phones and sort of tell you which one's better, which one's worse. I guess I can't really speak for you guys on this one, but I'll try to make it as basically as friendly to you guys to help you decide. So I'll compare them. The Evo 4G and the Epic 4G, network-wise, they both have UDO Rev A, which can do 7.2 megabits upload, 2 megabits, or 7.2 megabits download, 2 megabits upload, and they also have WiMAX capability, which is Sprint's 4G network, which is 10 megabits, I believe 10 megabits download, and I believe 5 megabits upload. I could be mistaken on that and try to leave an annotation. Might not get to it. But what that basically means is that you're going to be getting speeds around 2 times faster than 3G, 1.5, because really when people say, unless it's a wired internet or a wired connection, if it's wireless, usually, like for example, my phone, it's HSPA 3G, the MyTouch. It's supposed to be able to get 7.2 megabits download, and that's what T-Mobile's really, since they've upgraded their network where I am. And right now I'm getting a steady about 1 megabit upload or 1 megabit download. So those speeds don't really carry out, but it would be nice to sort of see them start becoming more true to what they're supposed to be. So anyways, that took a little while. On to the Android version. Both are running 2.1 of the operating system, but both Samsung and HTC have announced that they will be getting upgrades to 2.2, at least Android 2.2. So you'll be able to be looking for that wireless hotspot, whether Sprint allows it to be free or not. You'll also be able to look for Flash 10.1 in the web browser, and overall speedy or more speedy experience in the web browser, thanks to and the whole operating system thanks to a Jalvit in-time compiler, aka the JIT compiler. Now onto display. The Evo 4G wins it, and they both have WVGA displays, which is 800 down by 480 across, and they're very high res, only beat out by FWVGA displays, which are 840 down by 480 across, and Retina displays, which you can only find on the iPhone currently. And these are all mobile smartphones, and that's 940 down by 640 across, I believe. Actually, no, 960 down by 640 across. So these are WVGA. One thing that's really been a controversy is if AMOLEDs really have that WVGA resolution, and it's just because of the technology. Basically, instead of having the three colors packed into one pixel, it uses 2 colors packed into one pixel, and it sort of alternates. So you get about half of that resolution. I forget the exact numbers, but it's slightly higher than HVGA, but it's not going to be the true WVGA. But they'll both look stunning. Now, the Evo 4G wins in sheer size, being 4.3 inches, but the Epic 4G has a 4-inch screen, which is 0.3 inches smaller, which isn't terribly much of a difference, but the big difference is Super AMOLED versus TFT LCD. TFT LCD, the advantage is outside and on almost semi-direct sunlight. The Evo 4G's display will be a little bit better to see, but Super AMOLED saves on battery. It's clearer than TFT LCDs, wider viewing angle, and much more colors than TFT LCDs. TFT LCD on the Evo can do about 66,000 colors. The AMOLED on the Samsung Epic 4G can do about 17 million colors, so much more colors. Onto processor, the CPU speed. The Epic 4G uses a Samsung in-house um, Hummingbird processor, which is very similar to its A8 ARM Cortex A8 brother, the Apple A4 chipset. And what the difference is the Epic 4G or the Evo 4G has a 1 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon CPU, and what the difference is Qualcomm usually has a faster chipset available earlier before the rest of the market, but when all the markets catch it, so for example, OMAP and the OMAP processor, or Texas Instrument and Samsung will make their processors be 1 gig, versus the Qualcomm will already have out their 1.3 gigahertz. So what that basically means is that they make higher quality chips, and since the numbers are identical, the Samsung Epic 4G has higher benchmark numbers as far as we've seen. Both have dual cameras. Actually, the Evo 4G has a 1.3 megapixel camera, whereas the Epic 4G has a 0.3 megapixel camera. So if you do a lot of video chatting, the Evo 4G might win in that round. Both have flash, but the back camera is 8 megapixels on the Evo, 5 megapixels on the Epic, and the Evo has an extra LED of flash, but the Epic has arguably better 720p high definition video capture. But the Epic 4G has DLNA to get that onto your big screen monitor, which is wireless, whereas the Evo 4G has HDMI, which is wired, but it's higher quality because it is wired. So, whichever one's leading there. Both have QWERTY board, or the Epic 4G has a QWERTY board, and that might be the big deciding factor. It's 5-row QWERTY board with a dedicated space bar at the bottom and a symbol row with an emoticon button, actually, and that's pretty nice. So I haven't really tested out the Epic 4G's keyboard, so it's pretty much a toss-up there. Batteries, they both have 1,500 milliamp batteries, but the Evo 4G has not too great of a battery, especially if you're using it with the 4G WiMAX service. So I can only assume that the Epic 4G will have better battery life because of that Super AMOLED display and toning it down with that without having 2 LEDs of flash. I'm pretty sure, I can pretty much guarantee that the Epic 4G will have better battery life. Hotspot, they're both hotspot capable. I believe that's a $30 a month add-on. The Evo 4G can do 8 devices. The Epic 4G can do 5. That might be a software tweak that can happen. Video chat, both of them via Quick or Fring. DLNA, like I said, on the Epic 4G. Evo 4G is HDMI. By the way, I gotta give credit to Engadget for this. I'm doing a lot of this, basically a lot of this comparison from Engadget, or using some of their information. So Engadget.com. Anyways, back to the review. Media, or a movie store. The Epic 4G says Epic 4G is coming soon, but the Evo isn't coming. And basically what Samsung was saying about the movie store that's so new is that they actually have all the files cropped and fitted for the resolution and the colors to basically you're getting the best copy available for the Epic 4G in the smallest size. And it's full screen, small size, using the maximum resolution and the best colors. So that's something nice to know. Not really too much. Engadget did a pretty good job. The Evo 4G 13mm, the Epic 14mm, but you do have to mind that QWERTY keyboard. So all in all, personally, I think that the Epic 4G is a bit of a better device, but if you have an Evo 4G already, you wouldn't be upset with that. So I hope I helped you guys out about this. Hopefully, you guys got a little insight onto which one you're sort of leaning for. Epic 4G, there's not a release time yet. The Evo 4G is sold out currently, I believe. So you can't get it still now, but it is officially out. So anyways, also the Epic 4G 16 gigs on board. The Evo 4G 8 gigs at micro SD card. So anyways, I hope I helped you guys out a little bit here, choosing between the two. Anyways, this is Sean from TechTrader.webs.com, YouTube.com/SMP. Rate, subscribe, favorite, the whole deal with this. And I'll talk to you guys in a later video. Goodbye.